What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Redneck Industry Channel. And today we're going to be talking about something a little different. Something more trap oriented, or definitely trap oriented. Today we are talking about long spring traps. Okay? So, a long spring trap is one of the most traditional types of traps that you will see, maybe other than the Conibear style, the body grip trap style. But long spring traps, the original design was designed around the 1800s. I'm not sure exactly who designed them, but you can get lots of different configurations. You can get, this is a single long spring. You can get double long springs with another spring right there. And you can get them in a variety of different sizes. Now, a lot of trappers nowadays steer away from this. They use coil spring traps, which I use both. Quite frankly, I think long springs, if you know how to set them right, you know where to set them. Long spring traps are just as good as coil spring traps. So, kind of either or. But I have a few of my long springs here to show you today. These are a variety of different sizes. Size springs, I should say. But they are all 4-inch spread. And I'll kind of go over the trap itself, and then I'll go over the sizes. So this obviously is the long spring. You have your dog. It's the same as a coil spring, but just different springing mechanism. So you have your dog there. You have your pan, obviously, your jaws, and then your spring. Now, the only thing that would be a little bit more difficult is, not necessarily more difficult, but just a little bit, you have to go an extra step, and you have to dig your trap beds out a little bit bigger to accommodate the long jaw on it. So I have one set here, and the way that you set these is you want your spring facing towards your dog, so that way this back jaw here sits flush. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like. So I have this one set here, and you can see how this jaw right here is sitting flush. Rather than, I'll show you what it looks like when it's set and it's straight out like this. I'll show you what that looks like right now. So as you can see, the jaw sits up a little bit. So if you just move that, you can't really do it in the trap set, but if you just move that spring back a little bit towards the dog, it sits much better. So I'll give you a close-up of what it looks like here. This is a Vector Oneida, or I don't know exactly how to say it, but it is just a single swivel right at the bottom there. Okay, long chain, and then it goes to a stake hole, or a stake ring, sorry. That's what it looks like. Just a very simple yet effective design. You got to remember, before coil springs were around, they used either body grips, like I said, or these long spring traps, and they're a very effective trap. So don't underestimate them at all. Okay. So you can get different sizes up to 5, and I think. Pardon me, I think it goes maybe beyond 5. But the sizes I really know is up to 5. So you can get a number 2, which is a single spring, and double spring. You can get them. I don't actually think so. No, sorry, I don't think you can get those. You can only get number 1s in single spring. So it goes from 0 to 1. So the 0 has the just one spring, and with a 3.5 or 3.5 inch jaw spread when it's set, and you use that for weasels or squirrel. Okay, then you get your number 1 long spring, which you use for mink and muskrat, which is what this is. That has a 4-inch jaw spread from the back of the jaw to the opposite back of the jaw. And you get 1.5 which is 4 3/4 or 4 3/4. I'm terrible at math, by the way. Which you can use for raccoon and skunk and possum, stuff like that. A little bit more of a powerful spring there. Then you get into your number 2 size, and that it has a 5-inch spread, so you can use that for raccoon and foxes and kind of that stuff like that. And then you get into your number 3s, so that has a 5 3/4, so you use that for coyotes, bobcat, fox, lynx, bobcat, I'm not sure if I said that, stuff like that. Then you get into your number 4s, which has a 6-inch spread, and you use that for beavers and coyotes and larger animals. And number 5, I don't know the jaw spread, but you use that on wolves, coyotes, stuff like that. And from, I believe, number 2 up all the way up, you generally see them in double spring configuration. But a trap's a trap to me. You just, as long as it works and catches humanely, that's all I care about. Now, if you had a trap, you want to inspect these ones, especially the older ones. You can get them new from Duke. That's the only company that I know. Maybe Bridger, Minnesota Trapline, they might make them, but I only know Duke and the Vector Oneida, or you guys might know how to say it. But you always just want to check the points of contact on your trap. So you want to make sure that this bottom loop right there that connects the spring to the trap hasn't been broken or anything like that. And you want to same for the top. You just want to make sure that the spring slides evenly. You want to make sure your dog still fits into the pan notch, nice like that. But if you, like I said, if you get newer traps, you don't really have to worry about that, because they should usually work right out of the box, or at least that's what you expect. But I catch a lot of skunks and a lot of little critters with them. I catch squirrels with them. I've yet to catch a muskrat with it. I'd like to catch a muskrat with it, but I usually just use these 110 Conibear traps. They usually work really, really well for muskrats. You just swim right through. Okay, but yeah. So that's basically it. Just a little bit of a short information session on the spring or long spring traps. And like I said, a lot of people think, oh, well, you have to use them for hanging things on your wall, or like in a man cave, or you can't use those traps anymore. Well, yeah, you really can use them still, as long as they're in good condition. And that's really with any trap. You want to make sure that your trap's in good condition. Being right out of the box or 20 years old, if it's in good working condition, which will catch a animal humanely and effectively at that, without letting it loose or letting it go or injuring the animal or anything like that, then it's a suitable trap to trap with. As long as it's legal as well. There's some places that, like in the UK, for example, you can use a body grip trap. Excuse me. And I don't know the laws exactly around using a larger body grip trap, but I know in the UK, when you're using a body grip trap such as this size, you have to have it boxed in. And I know in Canada, there's different laws on using foothold traps, so you want to make sure that you're following all your local laws and your local protocols, and following trapping season, and all that kind of good stuff. And like I said in the other video too, you want to make sure that you have permission to trap the land, okay? You want to make sure that you have permission to trap the land. You just can't go to any park or any piece of land and start trapping it, because you don't know if you're going to a landowner's, even if you don't think, like in Canada, we have something called crown land. So that's public land that people can hunt on or hike on or what have you. You want to make sure that you have permission and you know where your boundaries are and what you're allowed to catch, because in some provincial parks, which would be equivalent to like a national park in the States, that some parks don't allow for trapping at all, period. I haven't really done much research on that, but I know some provincial parks do not allow trapping at all. So you want to make sure you're following all your local laws and local protocols. And like I said, you want to check out your traps, especially your older traps, make sure they function properly. And theoretically, you should do that with any kind of trap. You want to make sure that it functions properly and humanely. But that's about it for this video, guys. I've been kind of busy the last day or so, two and a half days. So I decided to get this little bit of a video up for you guys. I've been busy out setting trail cameras and everything. I know it's a little bit early to do that, but I like to see where the deer bed in the summertime, just to get a little bit of an idea, of where they're bedding and everything like that. So let me know down in the comments below what you want to see me do next. And give me some feedback. Maybe I missed something. Maybe there's something that you guys could tell me about long spring traps, or any kind of trap for that matter. Maybe you have some suggestions of some traps that I should try out. Just let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.